Bolo? Okay, should I start talking? XYZ MNOP. Can you hear me properly? Question from Purushottam Prabhu. Can you hear me? Okay, okay. Then should I go live? Hello, welcome to this live session on management of field sales. Please understand that this live session is created with lot of effort. For example, right now I am sitting in Calcutta, our NPTEL studio in Kanpur, our NPTEL studio in Madras. They are all actually active to make this possible. So utilize this 1 hour with questions focused on the subject matter and not sort of remotely connected or not connected at all questions. So, for example, there is one question from somebody about demonetization. The relationship with demonetization that has happened in India with the management of field sales. The connection between the two is very remote and very feeble in many ways. So it is not very pertinent to take up questions like that. They will take maybe hours to explain. Here we should take up short, to the point, succinct questions. Normally what happens is that this is not the proper place to respond to questions like what will be the exam pattern and etc. The right place to ask such questions is the forum. However, just to avoid heartburn on this, I will say a few things about exam pattern. Each question that you will get at the exam time will be randomized by the computer system, and therefore each question will be unique in many ways. So I can't say the general pattern, but what I can say is that mostly in this course, the questions will be of 2 marks each, but there may be some questions which are of 1 marks, and there may be a cluster of questions. That means each may be of 1 marks or 2 marks, but they may be all related to a qualitative short caselet that you will have to first read, understand, and then you will be able to respond multiple questions related to that particular situation. So some of the questions will be of the true false type, and the many questions will be of the multiple choice type. And these multiple choice questions will be uh, uh, multiple choice questions will be created often with a single single dimensional situation or a multi-dimensional situation. So you may sometimes you will have to read maybe 2 sentences. Sometimes you may have to read 10 sentences to understand. একটু জুনকে কল করো, ও তোমাকে এক্সপ্লেন করবে, আমি তো রেকর্ডিং এ আছি। So therefore I should really take up subject related questions, so and not these exam related questions. If you have more questions beyond what I have just now said on the pattern of exam, then you can actually put those questions on the in the forum, and we will together handle some of those, where to the extent possible, to the extent permissible, before the exam. Okay, I will take up an interesting question, where the question is that what do we have to do with respect to, again, of course, it is slightly related to the exam situation. The question is that do we have to read the textbook, or all questions can be answered from our understanding of sales? My response to you is, I have repeatedly mentioned during the sessions, and in few sessions in very, very particular, that you must read the textbook to be able to answer the questions properly. So at least those sessions where I have referred to the textbook and I have referred to the need of studying the textbook, you must. So in general, you must read the textbook, and in particular cases you must, otherwise you may not be able to answer. Of course, I think we have also provided you with the text of the PowerPoint slides that will give you in a way shortcuts to your textbook study. So at least the topics that we have discussed in depth during the sessions, you must read from the textbook. Another question that has come up is that what do we have to do beyond these theories and practices discussed in the course and the textbook to become successful as a salesperson? Now, this is a very short question, but the answer will be very long. But let me try to summarize it. That sales is an application-oriented subject. It's a subject of practice. So it is just like cycling or swimming. So I can tell you a lot, and you can study a lot, and you do need to study to become a champion swimmer. But the fundamental act of swimming, you can only master by swimming itself. So unless you practice swimming, so until and unless you practice selling, you will not be able to go forward. Just like cycling, I can tell you everything about the physics and the dynamics of cycling, but until and unless you cycle, it will not be possible to go further. So sales is a situation which is relying on honest persuasion, and therefore it is coming up with solutions which meet the customer's value requirement. Sales actually provides the dimensionalized or packaged solution to customers' problems, customers' pain points, resolution of pain points. So you practice, in convincing somebody in a situation. You try to promote your ideas in any kind of forum. All these are good training for sales. So sales is not always applicable only to selling of products, selling of goods and services, but sales also means selling of ideas. And in many people will argue in terms of research, that even a product is actually an idea. So if you are able to manage selling intangibles, then it will be much easier for you to sell tangibles, because at the core of all tangible products are intangible value proposition. So if you try to help, for example, you can help organizations like CRY or UNICEF or HelpAge or many such other voluntary organizations who sell, greeting cards, or New Year gift items, or Diwali gift items, or other Christmas gift items, uh, in a way to raise funds. So if you actually try to sell those products, you will be helping those organizations. You will be helping good social causes, and you can also practice selling. You can try to raise funds for some charitable activities, and that will be practicing sales, also contributing to a cause. So you can therefore, just like to become a good swimmer, you have to swim almost every day, at least during the whole season. In the same way, or take every opportunity to swim. In the same way, you can actually take opportunities to sell products which are socially relevant, and you will be contributing to a cause, and in the process you will be practicing your sales caliber, and that uh, practice and mastering the process are very, very closely connected. So more you practice, more you will learn. And when you practice and if you succeed, you analyze from what you have learned. Similarly, when you fail, you try to analyze why you are not able to make that sale, and that will be additions to what you have learned in this course. And mm, uh, I have again, as I said, I have more questions, or like give us some tips for facing the exams. Please put all these kinds of questions in the forum, and we will answer to the extent that is feasible and permissible. But this is not the place to ask such questions. So I'm waiting for more subject-related questions, which if you have, then please come forward. Another question has come about the which textbooks to study. I think you please go back to the course announcement, and you will see there that the primary textbook as well as the secondary textbooks are mentioned. And the primary textbook has been actually referred in number of the sessions with chapter numbers and so on. And you can actually uh, go to those particular lectures. At least you go through the primary textbook as given in the course announcement. That will definitely be required to do well in this exam. If you have actually followed all the lectures well, and if you have actually, if you have gone through the text provided to you of the text of the um, of the PowerPoint used in the session, that will actually at least be a very good beginning. And wherever you are not able to understand the text or to refer to the figures which are described in the text, then you have to go back to the textbook. And that way you will actually be able to cover the textbook, not in a shorter possible time. So you don't have to do from cover to cover study, but you will be able to directly get to the key subjects if you use the PowerPoint texts provided for the course as a referral shortcut. Okay. Again, I have a question, that is hall ticket compulsory for exam? Please put such questions in the forum. This is not the place for asking such questions. Hello, NPTEL Studio. Are there more questions which are subject related? Murali, Somnath, are there questions which are not exam related but subject related? If there are no more subject related questions, then we can end the session here. Somnath. Huh? Okay. No, you can in the meantime just make an announcement. তোমাদের interface দিয়ে that we have tackled all the subject related questions. So we will be ending the session soon. If you have more subject related questions, please put them in the forum and we will get back to you quickly. And exam related questions you can only put in the forum, and we will respond to the extent it is permissible and desirable. Yeah. And I'm waiting then. I'm yeah, okay. 5 মিনিট এটা বলে দাও। এটা রুবিতে আসবে 8:10 একটু আগে থেকে গেলে। আর অত বড় বাস দাঁড়াবে না, আর আনন্দ যেতে চায় আনন্দ যেতে পারে। I'll tell him, but you can tell him I will. Hello, am I audible? Okay. There is one last question, I think. This question is from Kamiz Mayuddin. It's about the product life cycle in simple terms. Okay. The product life cycle in simple terms says that all products have a conceptual beginning, and the product therefore starts before we depict the product life cycle graph, which is like an S, or often known as the S curve, or sometimes represented as the normal distribution, or we call the inversed or bathtub graph. That means it has a beginning at near the origin on the X Y graph, and then it goes up in a slope, and then it reaches a saturation point, and then sometimes the product life cycle, if it is an S graph, that means you have a sort of convex line graph in the beginning. This is actually the place where you have a lot of effort to get small sales result. This is the early stage of a product line. And then once the product has caught on, then it has a almost straight line with different kinds of slopes, which shows that you will get a proportional increase in sales with proportional sales effort. Normally in field sales management, this is the domain which is of high importance. And then after certain time, the product reaches a saturation point. So there actually it becomes flat and almost parallel to the x-axis. This is the stage where a lot of effort will produce almost the same result. So there will not be any rapid increase in sales with extra sales effort. Whatever may be your effort, your result will remain kind of constant. So this is the point whether either you accept the decline in sales over time and you try to do take certain steps so that you are not, because many companies who are competing will fall out at this stage. That means they will get out of the business because their return may not be commensurate with their effort. But if you actually manage even this end stage well, you can survive for a long time, which means that the decline graph can be, sometimes the slope can be changed so that you can decline over a longer period of time. And therefore you will actually, your sales effort will not produce any enhanced sales. In fact, your sales will be declining. But if by making the decline slow, you can still make money at this stage, because your cost of production might have already recovered all the fixed costs, and therefore whatever you make as margin goes to your profit. So you can actually manage your margin and manage a slower decline. Or the better thing is to make that S curve into an E curve, which means with some additional improvements, you can create new sales opportunities. So, for example, the TV sales were coming to a saturation level. Then instead of the tube-based cathode ray tube-based TVs, we came up with the LCD-based TVs, and then now LED-based TVs, and soon we will have organic LED-based TVs widely available. And therefore, now we have TVs which are almost flat, and they can be actually, they have very small thickness, so they can be hung up on the wall as almost like a painting. And sometimes we also have TVs today which normally when the TV is idle, it actually looks like a beautiful painting, and then when you switch it on, you can actually see your program and then again get back to the painting view. And it will become lighter. It will be possible now to have TVs which can be rolled or folded and put in your box, and then later on you can actually just open it up and connect it up and see your TV program. These are technological improvements which are creating new features and therefore attracting more customers. This is the way you actually manage at the decline stage or at the saturation stage, by creating new interest groups and causing some additional sales to happen. In the matured stage also, the product life cycle can be managed by creating focused products, specifically targeted to very small groups, niche groups. So you can create a product which is only meant for young urban women, or you can create a laptop which is appealing to children for playing games. Like that, you can create niche products. So these are various ways you manage the product during the decline stage or the saturation stage. And there are many other examples. Instead of dwelling too much on this one question, I will say that if you just Google or go on YouTube and put this product life cycle, you will get many interesting videos, many interesting short presentations, which will give you a lot more clarity on product life cycle. But this is a very, very core understanding that will help you in sales and marketing. So I will encourage you to search as much information as you can. Okay, one question is that what is value added sales? The value added sales is that if you have a product and you add, that means say goods, say a refrigerator, and now you add some more value to your offering. That means you, for example, offer a longer warranty, or you offer some periodic checkup, and create some new opportunity for sales through that method for upgrading the product. A very easy way to understand is the way the sales is managed for water filters. The domestic reverse osmosis, or UV ultraviolet, or reverse osmosis and ultraviolet type of water filters, domestic water filters, or it could be just ordinary. As you know, these water filters are often sold door to door, and then once the product is sold to you, then somebody visits periodically, even without your asking. Even if you have no problem, they will visit. They will check up the health of the product. They will see the output water, whether it is of expected quality. If not, they may actually change the filter. Sometimes if it is within the annual maintenance contract or warranty, you may not have to pay anything for it. Even later on you may have to just pay one time during the year, and all these filter maintenance, etc. You will have to only pay maybe for actual replacements in case of out of warranty products. Otherwise you may not have to pay anything. And this is actually what the way value is added to the sales process, and the relationship is deepened and deepened. And in the process, the customer may willingly pay you some. So you have today a reverse osmosis filter, and the person comes to you for servicing. At the same time, the person talks to you about a new improved model that is available, which is adding ultraviolet, and therefore not only takes care of the dissolved chemicals, etc., but it also actually it tackles the pathogens or microbes or germs, and he talks and creates another sales opportunity for an upgraded product. So these are called upselling, cross-selling, and all these are different types of value-added sales or adding value to your original sales. Somebody has asked about what are quotas. Quotas are targets for individual salespersons. So this is, you can, another way to say is the quota, that is your personal quota is your personal sales target. Sales analytics are actually statistical analysis of sales results, past sales results, to create some models by which future sales strategies can be developed. Sales analytics is not what we have covered in detail in this course. We did have a session on sales forecasting where we could actually predict the sales during the coming periods based on the sales in the past periods. But in the sales analytics, we go far beyond this statistical projection, where actually we look at many other things, that who are the profiles of buyers. So if we see increasingly our product is being purchased by young men or teenagers, then we can enhance the features which appeal to such customers and therefore cause the sales to accelerate. Or if we see that senior citizens who earlier bought this product are no longer buying this product, then we may find that actually, say for example, for a toothpaste, we may find that our product is not offering enough solutions for cavities or other old age related dental problems. Then that may actually give us ideas for coming up with a new variation of toothpaste that is particularly useful for senior citizens. So sales analytics does therefore various kinds of analysis from consumer behavior point of view, from consumer demographics point of view, from consumer psychographics point of view, and it looks at the sales pattern of the past and gives us clues towards opportunities creation in the future periods or coming up with new product ideas. Then you have, I have another question that, sir, can you explain strategic, but then the rest of it is lost. So if you are talking about strategic framework for sales management, then I think it is something that you should listen to some of the lectures. We have another course which is called strategic management, strategic marketing management, or management of marketing strategy on NPTEL platform, and there actually you will get to know about simple concepts of strategy and how they relate to selling. Let me only tell you briefly that core strategies or generic strategies are three, and they are called low cost strategy, They are called differentiation strategy, and they are called focus strategies. I think I have discussed during the this particular course, management of field sales, that in the early stage of a product, your sales strategy focuses on differentiation, coming up with product features which are attractive to the intended consumers, and then at a later stage, when all products are subject to a dominant design, that means they are subject to standards, then there are not very many opportunities to create differentiation. But there, the strategy should be based on low cost, not necessarily low price, but low cost. That means cost of production has to be reduced continuously through operational excellence, through optimized operations, and thereby you have to manage, have the ability to manage your margins and offer different types of price points for different types of product variants to continue to capture the attention and buying and habits of different types of consumers. And then at a later stage, your sales strategy has to be based on focus. That means at a matured stage, you cannot be everything to everybody, but you have to try to be everything to some bodies. That means you have to try to maximize your value propositions for certain chosen high potential segments. So this is a very short response. But so if you want to understand more about strategy and how it affects sales, I recommend that you listen to some of my early lectures for that course on strategic marketing management. I think it is available free on YouTube. Okay, then again, there is a exam-related question. As I said, the exam-related questions should be asked on the forum, but maybe I'll answer this question. It says, sir, should we focus, what should we focus on to answer the MCQs better? Well, I would simply say that read the question very, very carefully. As they say, aim and then shoot, and not shoot and then aim. So don't start ticking on the MCQ options until and unless you have read the question very carefully. So understand the context. Sometimes it may actually, you have to understand the negative of it. That means what is not true. And if you actually tick an answer which is with respect to true, then you will be on the, so please read the text of the question very, very carefully. That's it then. I think we conclude this particular live session. And if you have more questions, subject-related questions, then please put them on the forum, and we will give short answers to those questions which are interesting and relevant. Also the exam-related questions, if you have more, then you can put there, and we will respond to the extent it is practical and desirable. Okay, thank you. Bye. So I'm concluding then. I'm switching off. Huh? So I'm switching off then. So I will actually switch off the laptop, and then this session will then get wiped out, right? All the things about TeamViewer. And then I will uninstall the TeamViewer, right? Okay, thank you.